Corona Cigar Company is your one-stop shop for all your cigar needs. Whether that's a brand new humidor, a box of those new cigars you've been waiting for, a top-of-the-line cutter or lighter, a place to enjoy the finest cigars and spirits with friends, or the only cigars grown right here in the Sunshine State, we've got you covered. Come visit one of our retail locations for the ultimate cigar experience. Visit us online at coronacigar.com.
How about that cigar? How about that cigar? Hey guys, it's Matt from How About That Cigar, and welcome to episode 304 of How About That Cigar Live. Thanks so much for joining us live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and live on Rumble. So grateful to have you guys with us. And of course, if you're listening after the fact on the audio podcast, so grateful to have you guys with us as well. I am flying solo tonight here in the Corona Cigar Studios. So as always, if you guys have any questions for our fantastic special guest coming up in a few minutes, please leave those in the comments. And as always, let us know what you're smoking and drinking while we're on the show this evening. So yeah, flying solo here in the Corona Cigar Studios this evening. Grateful to have all you guys with us. So Justin's not feeling well this evening, and Raul had some flight delays on his way back from family vacation. So we hope everything's going well with him, and hope he, gets settled in from a family vacation, probably a much needed family vacation. So as always, checking in with a little bit of sports talk here and there. So we have in baseball, we have the championship series set and even underway a little bit. Toronto versus Seattle, Milwaukee versus the Dodgers. Last I checked, Milwaukee and the Dodgers playing right now, still scoreless in the sixth inning. So I love a pitcher's duel, so I can't wait to watch the highlights of this game. Toronto, Seattle, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that Seattle took the first game. Or no, who took the first game? Gosh, see, I should be more prepared for this stuff, but it's been a busy week. What can I say? So Seattle took game 1 and game 2 so Seattle's up. So there you go. I'm surprised by that. Blue Jays seemed unstoppable, but here we are. And I really want, I don't really have a horse in the race, but I really want the Brewers to make it through because I lived in Wisconsin for 8 years, and a little bit of soft spot for Wisconsin teams in my heart. So I think it'd be cool to see them get through. But we'll see what happens. The Vikings did not lose this week, but that's because they were on a bye. So the Vikings didn't lose. The Jets, Raul's team, sorry brother, are still winless. So the Jets are terrible. Surprise, surprise. The Packers beat the Bengals barely. It was pretty ugly, but they won. And the Minnesota Wild starting off the season 1-1, playing as we speak. I'm not sure what the score is of that game, but the Wild game is going on right now. So, a lot of stuff going on with sports, but, the NFL season's young, and I don't really have a horse in the race, like I said, with baseball. So but we'll see how things go. So Spirit of Mystery, since I'm on my own tonight, I just had to pick from my own stash of booze. So I grabbed the old reliable Eagle Rare. You just can't go wrong. It's good. It's good whiskey. What are you going to do? So that is what I'm drinking this evening for the, I guess you'd call it the Spirit of Not Mystery, brought to us by Postania Cigars. Do you find yourself unsatisfied with the top 10 list from How About That Cigar? Are you wondering how cigars from Postania didn't make the HBTC list, but found their way onto other lists? Well, fortunately, you can be reminded every week with this Postania Cigars advertisement. Postania Cigars, the #1 unranked cigar in the industry. So yeah, Spirit of Mystery this evening. No mystery at all. Eagle Rare. Gotta love it. And I just think, because I don't have the guys here to do banter with, and I really want to do banter with our fantastic special guest. So special guests, as always, on How About That Cigar, are brought to us by our friends at Drew Estate. And Drew Estate just unveiled the latest chapter, the Nica Rustica Shade. Shade is the third Nica Rustica expression, joining the original broadleaf and the Nica Rustica Adobe. Nica Rustica Shade spotlights an Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper, Mexican binder leaf, and balanced blend of Nicaraguan, American, and Dominican fillers. Available in a 4.5 by 50 short Robusto, 6 by 50 Toro, and a 5 by 66 Gordo. The Nica Rustica Shade is available now. For more information, please visit drewestate.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you would please put your hands together and welcome to episode 304 of How About That Cigar Live from Tatuaje, Pete Johnson. Welcome back to the show, brother.
What's up, brother? I don't know if you saw me itching my back off camera, but it was probably a pretty cool acrobatic thing going on.
Oh, I don't
know if you could see it, but literally I was like using the chair that I'm sitting on as a back scratcher, so it might have been kind of awkward looking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I promise I wasn't doing anything else but that.
Well, I mean, if you get the, if you feel the itch during the show, don't hesitate, for a second to just get in there. Go for it.
It's still hot and sticky down here in Miami. So
is it really? It hasn't cooled off yet?
It cooled off I don't know. It's still somewhere in the 70s for sure. It was supposed to get down to 69. No joke there. Pause. But yeah, I don't feel it, dude. I'm hot.
Bro, our high tomorrow here is supposed to be like 60. That's supposed beautiful. To be the high.
That's beautiful. So, that's like walking around in a light jacket weather. I love jackets, so pisses me off that I can't wear them down here.
Well, I mean,
unless you're in my warehouse, which is always below 70, which is great.
Well, yeah, the warehouse. Honestly, I'd spend most of my day probably in the warehouse.
Yeah, I keep the whole place like temperature controlled because millions of cigars, those are the babies. So you gotta keep them fresh and cool.
Yeah. So Pete, tell us what you're drinking and smoking this evening along with us.
I'm actually drinking a Willet Rye, which is a 6-year, something that we picked for Saints and Sinners.
Nice.
And I'm smoking a prototype from Honduras. So
prototype from Honduras.
Yeah. I've said this a few times on other like lives or podcasts or whatever that I've been having writer's block with Honduras. The first cigar that I'm actually coming out with out of Honduras is a Cuban sandwich style that sells for under $5. So yeah. my full long fill launch, I'm still a little uneasy about. So I keep on tasting it over several weeks to see if I am truly in love with it. So far so good, but at the same time I'm second guessing everything. So
yeah.
Plus we're about to cut like I think 20 SKUs out of our portfolio. Which
that many? That's quite a few.
Yeah, we're kind of we say cut, but I mean
put on hiatus.
kind of hiatus, but some cigars are going to be exclusive in California and available because of the way that the UTL listing works. You had to have like the actual packaging to go along with it, to go with the sample that you send them. And ultimately, we were going to change a few broadleaf items to 21 counts and get rid of the whole 10 count list completely. But we picked the 4 best sellers of the 10 counts of the broadleaf collection, and we put them on the list in California, but we had to register them under the 10 count. So California is going to be the only place you can get 10 counts eventually, but only in those 4 sizes. It's there's some things that we're just kind of putting on the back burner, but some things will stay alive in like samplers and stuff like that.
Okay.
So the brand will be around, but the full line won't be. It's just we need to clean some things up and we have new things coming, so it's like, how do we add and not minus? So
yeah.
I'm not a fan of it, but it's something we need to do. It doesn't make sense to bother the factory for 4,000 cigars.
Yeah.
So I got my wife walking behind me. I'm curious. Oh no, she's not going to completely walk behind us. So,
well, let everybody know
nice.
What I'm smoking. The cigar of the year from just a couple of years ago, the Tuxla Lomo de Cerdo.
Nice.
And because it's one of my favorites, and I still smoke them all the time, and because fortunately I bought as many as I could get my hands on when they were available, and so that's what that's what I've got fired up tonight. So I'm curious, Pete, you know, because you brought up kind of, and we've talked about this a bunch in the times in the past that we've had you on the show, and I love diving into this because I feel like anything artistic in nature, anything creative in nature, whether it be music or paint or sculpture or that kind of thing, really has a lot of similarities and shares some kinship with the world of creativity and premium cigars. And in just showing the Tuxla there, and there was a big there's a lot of really good quality San Andreas tobacco, and that led to a lot of that tobacco being used to enhance or tweak or have some fun with some previous projects and things like that. And it's almost like throwing a new lead guitarist into a song, or tweaking a couple chords on a bridge here and there or something like that. And then then you've got not necessarily as broad, at least from what I've seen, and correct me if I'm wrong, not this year, not necessarily as broad of a reach of Corojo, but a little bit of kind of some of the same vibe of throwing in a few different, chord changes with Corojo this year in my mind as a musician. So what kind of, as you look ahead and like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, as you were looking ahead at, the Tuxla and the Corojo and other stuff like that, what makes you look at projects and say, I'm going to make a little twist on this song, being Cigar. I'm going to make a little twist on this just because we're trying it out with these different wrapper leaves or a different something here and there, and it just works. And I think the customers are really going to dig it. So what makes you go down a path like that?
Yeah, I think it's really about just giving people a different expression. We don't. Sometimes there are times where I shift with the factory when I know that certain things aren't as accessible. Like I've already made my bed for 2026 when it comes to certain projects, but I had to make sure that the factory had enough of a certain leaf for me to use. So I'm always way ahead of where the factory is moving because kind of see it every day, and I kind of know that okay, there might be a shortage of this. So what other expression can I use that I know that I can have good access to? But I've been in love with Corojo lately, so that's why there's a lot of Corojo. So it's not that there's not like the San Andreas project was purely out of like I knew I had access to some really good San Andreas, and then I also knew that I wanted to see the sizes that we put in that expression with that wrapper because there was kind of something that was missing in the portfolio. So it's really ultimately it's about offering different product and letting people have fun with it and maybe teaching people's palates on what they do and don't like about certain cigars.
Yeah. So I go through phases where, because I'm all over the map when it comes to musical tastes. I mean, literally, with very few exceptions, you can name just about any musical style or genre in history, and I'll have an affinity for it in some way, shape, or form. And I go through phases where I'm listening, you know, for a few weeks I'll listen to a lot of hip hop, and then for a few weeks I'll listen to a lot of you know, classic grunge, and then for a few weeks I'll listen to like 80s hair bands, and then for a few weeks I'll, you know, and I find the same thing is true with other things that I consume, whether it's whiskeys or spirits or particular wrapper leaves on cigars. And so how do you kind of, because I know you don't get a lot of time to smoke for pleasure. I get that. So how do you try to mix in that kind of feeding the vibe that you're on for this given time and place with keeping up with blending and quality control and that kind of thing?
Well, okay. So let's go back to the choices of why I do things. Again, I make these choices on wrapper selections normally because I want to taste the expression. So, like again with Corojo this last year, I've been heavy on it because I've been in love with it. So I wanted to see all these cool, iconic Tatuais with the Corojo. I don't find a lot of time to actually sit down and just smoke a cigar without really thinking about it. I mean, it's just one of those things that every time I sit down, like right now I'm working, like I'm tasting this cigar and making sure that I'm in love with it. This actually has a dark Corojo on it. I found that I actually like this better than the same cigar with a lighter Corojo.
A lighter shade, okay.
You can see the difference in color.
Yeah.
Difference of priming, the whole thing. So I'm constantly working. The other day I sat down after we finished Saints and Sinners shipping on Saturday. We sat down with all the guys that were helping us pack. I opened up a few bottles of wine. We sat down with some cigars. And those were the moments that I was able to sit down and go, okay, I'm really enjoying this. Maybe this will be a project, you know, because I enjoy it so much. I lit up one of the sticks from the Saints and Sinners kit that, don't quote me on this, I can't remember. I think the ring gauge might be a 46.
I like it already.
Might be a 44, actually.
I like that too.
I have to look through my notes to see what I sent down to the factory, but man, it had a Connecticut wrapper on it. It was fucking phenomenal. It just everything hit, dude, for me. Like everything hit. And that's after I had smoked a few cigars, and I was like, man, this cigar is just checking all boxes, right?
Yeah.
But before that, I was smoking one of the cigars from the kit, the 10 count package that's in the kit. And I kept on lighting those up because those were so good. I was like, this is kind of like a chiclet, you know. You just keep on wanting to, or a Lay's potato chip. You can't have more than you can't have one.
Yeah.
So I think ultimately, when I have those moments of just kind of conversational and fun, hanging out with friends and family, then I can really not think about the cigar so much. But in the case of every other day, like I just lit up a Corojo PCA that I did at the trade show, because when I was searching through all the things to register for California, I realized I had a lot of things already pre-sold for California, and one of them was the PCA Corojo. And luckily for me, I had a sample box and I had cigars, so I could actually send the sample empty box and the one single cigar to pay for the registration for that. I sat down and I smoked that cigar, and it had enough like heft to it that I got winded from it, because I hadn't smoked for a little bit either. So I got a little winded from it, finished about, I don't know, 2/3 of it. And then I was hanging out with my buddy Mo on his Instagram live the other night. And I finished that cigar the next day on his live. I'm like, okay, I purged it, the whole thing. And everything was still working perfectly fine. But that at that first moment that I was smoking, I was working. At the second moment, I was just making sure that it was still good. After the relight, after a day. So I'm all over the place. It's a good question though.
Well, and one of the viewers, Tony, wants to know about Brazilian wrapper. So talk to us about your experience, your feelings on Brazilian tobacco leaf as a wrapper.
I let other people do it.
Yeah.
I can tell you that there was someone in the factory recently asking to work with a Brazilian wrapper, and the Garcias were at first hesitant. They got some samples from a tobacco supplier in the industry, and I think the project's going to be pushed forward. But it was one of those balking moments, I guess. Like they weren't sure about it, but the client really wanted it. It's going to be a great cigar no matter what. But I can't tell you who it is though.
No, that's cool.
But it won't be me.
Okay. Well, and it's
I like it. I like Brazilian tobacco in moderation for me.
Yeah.
I've never been a huge fan of certain Brazilian tobaccos. I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've just never really fallen in love where I'm like, oh, I have to pick one of those up again.
Yeah.
But, I mean, to each their own. I mean, like everybody's got that's just me. Like,
so what
subjective opinion.
What do you get from it? So and everybody's got different palates, but there's just kind of some general things that
Well, for me, I get it. I get a little bit of a gritty and dirtiness from it, but that's just me.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of sweetness. I mean, especially Arapiaco. It's not my favorite, but that would be my favorite Brazilian leaf would be Arapiaca.
Yeah.
I've had multiple cigars over the years that had Brazilian wrapper on it. I just never fell in love with them and said, wow, I should go buy more of those. And this was before I even had a brand. So those were cigars that I was smoking when I was younger. I will tell you that I was smoking a lot of Honduran cigars way back when.
Oh,
and there was one by UST that I really fell in love with, because it kind of reminded me of like a kind of a Honduran version of a Henry Clay. It had the sweetness, it had the body, it had the fullness. It could be the way it was packaged that I really loved too. But it was called Vega Talanga. And the funny part is that the Talanga Valley is where the Garcias grow all their tobacco. So I don't know how much of the tobacco that was in Vega Talanga actually was from the Talanga Valley, but again, back to Brazilian.
Yeah.
It's it's not completely for me, but
Sure.
again, a subjective opinion, dude. Like we all have them.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we're not right.
So another, and gosh, as many times as you've been on the show, I'm trying to remember if we've talked about this. I'm sure we have, because there's so many
Cameroon
hours that we've talked. No, it's Candela. So I'm the rare person that loves a good Candela. Anything I should be excited about? Question mark?
No, I let other people do that.
Yeah.
Like, Skip's. I think Skip's done a good Candela. Dion did a good Candela.
Yeah.
I kind of leave it up to them. I know the Aroa family could do a great Candela. I'll leave it up to those guys. Like it's not really my speed.
Sure.
If I were to ever do anything with Candela, it would have to be something in the Monster series, and it would be a short run.
Yeah. Well, what I've heard from multiple people, dozens of people in the cigar industry, and I tend to feel the same way about it, is my favorite Candelas are ones that don't taste like Candelas.
Yeah. I love that.
So that's just the way it, and yeah, you don't get that strong, like you're in a that's like you're in a hayfield
or in a greenhouse.
It's, and yeah, Skip's was really good. Dion's was really good. There was one from Espinosa that I liked a lot. So yeah, there have been
which one did Espinosa do? I can't remember.
The Wasabi.
Oh, the Wasabi. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I was actually going to mention that one. I for some reason I thought that was Alec Bradley. I don't know why.
Oh yeah. No, they do like the St. Patty's Day ones with a barber pole, the Candela barber pole for St. Patty's Day.
Yeah, and that's another style cigar that I'll never do.
The barber pole or any kind of like. Well, you did. There was the face, the original with the.
That's different. That was
different.
Very different.
Yeah. That's more of like an artistic pop.
That's more of an artistic pop.
Yeah.
And you only tasted it if you actually got down to that point of the cigar.
Not many did. Not many did, because it was pretty high up. Like where the band is on this cigar here.
Yeah.
That wrapper or
was a little higher.
Would have been more up like there. So you got to be really committed if you're going to smoke through that.
And that was a big cigar too. I mean, that's a 56.
It was, yeah.
56 by what is it? 6. Shit. Why am I blanking now? Dude, I'm getting old. Dude. I can't. 6.5. Thank you.
Yeah.
If it's not 6.5, I got no answer for you. Like I'm still asleep.
Well, and speaking of monsters, it's actually kind of cool that the date landed the way it did.
I know, yeah.
October 13th, month of monsters, and it's really become it really has become an iconic release year over year. And now even with the Redux, people just are apeshit for it, which is a fantastic thing to know that people are still loyal to the blends.
It's definitely fantastic that people are returning to buy them, or maybe new people are buying them because they never got a chance to buy the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to be somewhat relevant, Yeah, dude, you go into it and you're like, okay, this is usually one of our biggest releases every year. This is the number. It seems to always work, but at the same time, you're always kind of scared of it.
Yeah.
Even though it was, the Drac, we actually did a shorter run of it because the Drac originally wasn't as popular, but we realized after the fact that we needed more Dracs.
Yeah.
So when we got to the third season, which would have been the face, we're like, let's just go back to the 65,000 cigars and be done with it, and not look at maybe that one didn't sell as well, so we should bring it down. The best part about it is that we're always really cautious about how many we sell to any one account.
Right.
So a lot of times we kind of go into it shorting everybody a little bit. and then eventually it gives the ability for those retailers that want a few more boxes to come back to us. But we're really kind of like yes or no. Not all the time do we say yes, but like regular brick and mortar stores get more than any big house. I'll straight up tell you that live, and the big houses are going to hear it and be pissed off. But it's just the way we are.
Yeah, and that's a testament to loyalty, but on both sides. You know what I mean? It's loyalty on your behalf to, the small to medium brick and mortar retailers, and loyalty on their side to your brand and the way you do business. So I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, the company's at a very comfortable level. Scaling is always one of the hardest things to do in the industry. And from the pandemic till now, we scaled fairly big for what we were thinking about. And now it's really about sustaining that new level. And that's it. To scale again, I'm not sure if I'm going to enjoy myself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
not enjoy life, enjoy myself. Like I still want to sleep at night.
Yeah, you want to be able to, sleep and actually enjoy the company of your family. A couple hours a day. That'd be cool.
I don't know if you have seen the Ozzy Osbourne doc.
Yes.
Oh my God, dude! It killed me. That absolutely killed me. I think when Billy Corgan starts breaking down, talking about Ozzy and his last show, I was like, Jesus, like,
yeah.
I've actually had a newfound respect for Billy Corgan recently because I've seen a lot of interviews where you see a lot of humility. And I didn't realize he had that humility, which is really cool. So go for Smashing Pumpkins.
Well, I think it may have, and I mean, I'll speak for myself that, man, at 54 years old, it took me way too fucking long to develop a healthy amount of humility, man. It did. I
forgot. When did you turn 54 again?
July.
Okay, so you're 71.
Yeah,
we
71.
talked about this. Okay, but we're in the same age bracket. I'll be 55 at the end of the year.
Yeah, and it took me. Yeah, it just took me way too fucking long to. And
me too.
Billy's probably in the same, same general age bracket, and for some of us, I mean, I know a lot of people who are younger who have really, been really good with the humility thing. And for me, I spent way too many years just fucking too caught up in my own shit, and it just took me a long time. And maybe he's just kind of at that place. I don't know.
Believe in your own hype.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I mean, there was too many things in my life when I was younger that I was like, I am the fucking man. I am the shit. And it's like, nope. I'm paying attention to the wrong things. And it just took, me getting bashed upside the head from time to time with things that just kind of woke me up to like, oh, right. It's about others. It's not about me.
Yeah. There's part of the doc that I did with the film guys, the hand roll guys. And, part of that doc, you'll see where I actually say that there's a point in my earlier life that I had, it was all about me, and I found room to open it up to others. But the older I get, the less I want to be seen or known. So
yeah,
you're getting some very last few rare interviews with me.
Well, and I gotta put this comment up because Daniel from Domain Cigars is watching. When I was working behind the counter 10 plus years ago at Outlaw, Pete sat me down and talked about tobacco for 2 hours, and I'll never forget his generosity. And I can say that I've experienced the same thing, because you were just in Minnesota, just what, a month ago, 6 weeks ago.
6 weeks probably.
And it's the same thing. And it wasn't just me. There's probably a dozen people, standing around talking about tobacco. You did the same thing when you were in Minnesota, maybe 6-7 years ago, and even times that we've been at PCA, times that I've been at the My Father factory, that you just love sharing and it's not.
I love conversation.
Well, you love conversation, but one of the things I love that when you start talking to people about tobacco, I love the fact that you can tell when you talk about it, that because you bring so many other people's names into the conversation, that you're not saying, I know all this stuff about tobacco. What you're saying is, I've spent the last, nearly 30 years, 30 plus years learning all this stuff from all these other great people. And I love that you just lay it out that way instead of saying, hey, listen to all the shit I know. I love that.
No, I love conversation, and I love the human aspect of deep conversation. Like, especially when it ends up being not about tobacco or cigars, it's just a personal conversation. I love that because I think we all have our issues, we all have our insecurities, we all have our highs and lows, and it's just nice to touch a different string of your heart when you're having a conversation with someone.
Yeah,
like that. It's just me. I'm a sob when it comes to this shit. Like, I break down. I was bawling my head off during that Ozzy documentary. It was just beautiful.
Yeah, that whole thing was a tearjerker. Honestly, it was tough to watch in some spots, but in the end, it was a really nice tribute.
Yeah, absolutely.
So with the with this year's Redux, were there any like hurdles, surprises, anything like that along the way, or did the project go as smoothly as you hoped it would?
The project actually went fairly smooth. The cigars were done. The band showed up fairly on time, and then the factory showed me the boxes, and the boxes were fine, but they were done in reverse. Well, meaning like the sample prototype boxes, they're like, oh, this will be this one and this will be this one. I go, no, that box there is the numbered one, and this box there is the everyday one.
Yeah.
Same cigar, by the way. Just
same. By cigar. The way, always been the same cigar.
The one cigar in the tissue wrap in the center of the box does not mean you won a prize. It's just an homage to the original. And then it also is kind of like saying there's always going to be one mummy wrapped in tissue.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm sure you've been, gosh.
Oh, I've had 50 people easily. Did I win something? Even retailers. Yeah. Did we win something? I'm like, no. Right. You'll get nothing and like it.
Or they think it's either A, they think it's a golden ticket, or B, they think it's some special like one-off blend or something.
Well, that was the main question. Is this a stronger or a different blend? I'm like, no, it's the same cigar.
Yeah.
Although that would have been fun. The factory would have killed me. But hey, these ones you have to put in the tissue wrap and make sure they go into every box.
Jay Lundy says we need the Avion Corojo as the Texas exclusive.
He told me that recently too. And then I told Jay that it's going to end up being a California exclusive.
Yeah.
So with California, there's an interesting part about California where we just got a little cool breeze, so that means it's cooling down. There's an interesting part where they say in their law that if something is on the shelf of a retailer after January 1st that's not on the UTL list, it will be deemed illegal, and they'll go after the manufacturer, importer, and or reseller. So in the case of those three things, I'm technically just the reseller because my wife's company is the manufacturer and importer. But like, let's say I used a distributor. That distributor would be the reseller. Or if someone in California imported the cigars under their LD license, which they have, well, they would have to. They would technically be the reseller because they're now putting it into their inventory on their retail shelf, because there's 2 licenses in California when it comes to LD and LR, licensed retailer, licensed dealer, distributor. So I knew everybody had the Corojo on their shelves, and I didn't want them to like go, oh, do we really have to hide this shit? So he did. I joked that the cigars, domestic cigars, or what we call domestic cigars, are going to turn into like the Cubans of the 90s. Like, oh, what do you got in the back room? Like, what do you got in your back humidor?
Got any cash only deals back there?
Yeah, exactly. So I decided to make the Corojo set, which is the Avion, the T110, and the Cojete, as a California exclusive.
Yeah.
So it's not a California exclusive now, but it's going to move forward eventually, where I'll make batches of those cigars for California.
Yeah.
Tell Jay, you can get more for your retailers in Texas. You just have to order after next week when Andy gets more.
There you go. Exactly.
Because he's getting inventory from the Miami warehouse.
Jason wants to know, can Pete go on record and settle the debate? Pronounce redux with an X or redo with a silent X?
I say the redux, dude. It's just,
that's what I say. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I was French, I might say it differently, but I'm not French.
Yeah, me too. And I'd probably spell it differently too.
when I'm eating that particular crescent-shaped French pastry, I don't say croissant.
Croissant.
I don't say that. I say croissant, because I'm a I
don't know. In Minneapolis, St. Paul, there's a lot of French people, dude.
But everybody around here, with the Minnesota accent, says croissant.
Yeah, it's pretty normal.
Yeah,
I'm the same way. Like, if I have to speak any French, which I can't speak much at all of anything, but I know how to say, désolé, parlez-vous anglais, which is sorry, but do you speak English? And I know how to say Lou and Bordeaux and
yeah.
But like when I watched this wine guy on Instagram, and I don't know why, a buddy of mine sent me this guy. He's a Spanish guy, and he happens to pronounce everything like so proper, and it's almost like it reminds me of when I was younger, listening to people that were just complete gringos like myself.
Alex Trebek on Jeopardy.
And
you remember him? He would always, whenever he got to a Spanish name or a Spanish word, he would suddenly flip. He would like code switch into perfect Spanish.
Yeah, he would. I like to say you're turning on your NPR voice. It's there was always a guy that would walk in and say, do you have any patagas? And I'm like, yeah, we have Partagas.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, I think as I get older and being around Spanish people more, I start to use Spanglish more.
Sure.
So I do say Partagas and tatuaje, and I put a little accent to it. The other day I was trying to tell the guys that were helping us pack boxes, I was trying to tell them a story. And I looked at my buddy Steve and I said, hey, Steve, can you translate this? I don't think I can tell them the whole story in Spanish. And I started the conversation telling them the story in Spanish. Like I just couldn't. After I asked my friend to translate it for me, and he looked at me and goes, bro, you don't need me. But like when you hear Casper, who works with me on Saints and Sinners, Sean Johnson, no relation, he speaks super fast Spanish.
Yeah.
Like when he talks, you can tell he's a gringo with a good vocabulary of Spanish, but it's like I speak really good Spanglish. And the words I know, I pronunciate them properly. But not, there's a lot of first person in what I say in Spanish.
The few words that I use in Spanish, I just talk with the most Midwestern hick accent. Is just hola, ¿cómo estás? I mean, I just sound like an absolute,
I speak Cuban, which is everything is like ¿cómo está?
Yeah. Little lisp, half pronounce every word.
Yes. Absolutely.
All right. So again, going back to kind of the comparison of songwriting and, even beyond songwriting, but, when you're, the times you spent, working through, say, an arrangement with the band, saying, oh, should we double up the chorus here? Should the guitar solo go here? What should we, that kind of thing.
Should we change harmonies coming out of the solo?
Yeah. So
change key or keys.
Actually. Yeah, exactly.
We do a lot of key changes.
So there are some songs, whether you're writing them or arranging them, where the pieces just fit together almost right away, and everybody just knows it's like it's almost effortless. It's quick. It's like boom, this is right, and you just know it right away. And then there are others that it's kind of it takes forever, but once it hits, it's great, but it just took so much work to get there. Yeah. So when it comes to Cigar, creating cigar blends, can you think of a blend that followed the trajectory of it just hit right away and you knew it, and then another blend that just took forever, but when it finally did hit, it was great, even after all that long work?
I mean, some things are really easy.
Okay.
Some things are really easy, like especially when you're changing wrappers. I mean, like, look at the Escaso series out of Miami compared to the regular. That was a key change. That's it.
Okay. Yeah.
And it works because it follows a pattern, right? But there's been moments where, writer's block comes into play, like this Honduras thing, or when I was doing La Verite. There's been moments I've been in the factory with other brand owners, and they've looked at me and said, "Wow, man, like I like the first one they gave me," and I'm like, "It's a good cigar. Like,
yeah,
maybe you should not overthink it. If it plays well, like, I mean, but dude, when we were playing music, the other day, dude, I've been writing stuff. Like, I'll come into my bar here behind me, and I have guitars on the wall. I'll pull a guitar off the wall, and I'll start playing around, and then I'll start singing, like humming, not really singing, but kind of putting a melody behind what I'm playing. And then I can tell you that I don't remember any of it.
Oh God, I've been there 1,000 times, brother.
Like I could go back and start playing, and I won't remember that same melody because I didn't record it, and I just kind of like was fucking around.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to write music either.
Yeah.
I'm just playing. I'm just goofing about. Like, it's not my primary focus. But there are moments that in the factory where, you have to kind of go through the process and kind of work through the chorus and the bridge, or the bridge and the chorus in that order.
Yeah.
To get the proper blend down. Sometimes it's missing something, and you have to maybe change a key, which is a little, maybe a harmony that you can't quite hit anymore, type of thing. Yeah. It's hard to explain, but there's been moments where it's just like it nails it. I would say with Brown Label Miami stuff, it's really easy to kind of dissect it and go up and down and kind of find a perfect balance in anything.
Okay.
Honduras is I'm going through the process of writing a symphony, and it's not my forte. So, but there's moments that it just like, okay, that's easy. That was easier than I thought. Now, like, is that rapper the right rapper? So then you have to start, like, playing around with the different rappers. I remember smoking 7 cigars before 8 a.m. one time. And it was all the taste, which rapper was hitting me correctly. And I even got on the phone with some guys from BOTL when that group was around.
Oh, yeah.
I was in the factory in Nicaragua, and I got on like a phone call with these guys. And I had already kind of set my mind to what I was going to do, but I wanted to get their feedback. And as soon as I said one word, they go, "Yeah, that one." And I'm like, well, it's definitely hitting. Like, it's definitely a hit for me. But I told them all, I go, if this one fails, I'm going to blame you all. I'm going to make it public. But it actually worked out great. It actually worked out great. And now, like, I'll go back to that same cigar and I'll be like, I kind of want to change the wrapper. And I find that I can't change the wrapper. Like, I need to have that wrapper on that particular blend to make it where it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Now, was there ever a blend that, it's been around for a while, and let's say, a number of years down the road, you're playing around in the factory and you have some made up with a different, same blend but different wrapper, and you and some other trusted people around you, you're smoking this blend with the different wrapper leaf on it, and you all look at each other and you say, "Why the fuck didn't we release this 10 years ago?" Have you ever had a circumstance like that?
Yeah, I mean, there's always that moment where it's like, man, there's always time for another hit, right?
Oh yeah.
So I'm not in a rush. Like, I would like to be doing this for a long time. So it's one of those things like, man, we have said that, like, wow, man, where was this? What were we thinking? We could have done this a few years ago and that would have been really cool, but it's here now. So that's all that matters. I think that if you ask any musician that's written hit songs, and they somehow stumble upon something that is now a great thing and that they probably just had to grow into. It's like they grow up and I mean, I would say, like, bands like Metallica, they wrote some of their best music in their earlier days, and now I'm like not in love with everything, but I'm sure they're going to get to a point where they write something that just blows the fucking water out. Like, just people go, holy shit, where was that? And I think it just takes a little bit of growing up and understanding who you are before you. Like, I have cigars right now that people are like so in love with, and they're like, "Where's this been?" I go, "I just had to get to that point. That's it."
Yeah.
Like my 898, the Dahlia that I did out of Miami. I'm in love with it. People are in love with it, and they're like, "What have you been doing?" I go, "Waiting." Right. Like, it just took some time. I went through a phase, and I'm now looking for certain notes that want to encapsulate my life.
Yeah.
So,
well, this brings up a question that just popped into my head, but I don't remember how it was within the last, I don't know how many years, 5 years, 6 years. When you're our age, it's hard to kind of
remember,
but is it within the last, I want to say 5 to 7 years, Metallica was on the Howard Stern show.
Yeah.
And at one point, Elton John dialed in from somewhere else. And Elton John says Nothing Else Matters is one of the best songs ever written. And James Hetfield gets choked up, and
yeah.
Can you think of a moment in your cigar career when you had a similar moment, when somebody that you admired so deeply praised one of the cigars that you put on the market to such a high level that you just were stunned and kind of humbled by it?
I think more than anything when I see other cigar people that work for other cigar companies like tell me like, dude, I smoked that, it's fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
I think that's the coolest moment of like you're impressing your peers so much that they actually went out and bought it.
yeah.
There's been moments. I think, in the earlier days when I was working on new blends, it was always working with Pepin and Jaime.
Yeah.
And I had convinced Jaime to do something with their tobacco. And that was the La Verite project.
Right.
I had convinced Jaime to put some samples together. And he wasn't quite sure what I meant by it, but I kind of gave him the easy, broke down, dumbed down version that I could think of in Spanglish. And I said, just use these components, but swap them out for this blend. So put it in the same format, Seco Visa Ligero. So it's nothing super fancy. It's just now you're using your tobacco from these primings in this format. And we got back to the apartment with these samples, and Pepin had been traveling to a farm that was fairly far away. And he had just come back to the apartment when the Garcias had like a small apartment in this little courtyard building. And I asked Pepin, I said, you want a cigar? And he goes, yeah. And I gave him one of these cigars.
Hmm.
And he lit it up and he went like, whoa, what the heck is this? And Jaime actually told me, he goes, Bobby, that's our tobacco. He goes, what do you mean? He goes, no, it's 100% our tobacco. And Pepin got so excited by it was like that epiphany moment for him. Like, holy shit, we're growing great tobacco. I mean, he knew it already, but then when he smoked something that was 100% his tobacco, we got in the car, we drove to the farm, we had a couple bottles of rum, we sat in the farm until I can't remember how late that night, but it was really late, smoking and drinking, and Pepin talking about how great his tobacco was. And I thought that was fucking cool that I impressed with a simple idea, a simple concept. I impressed the guy who grew the tobacco, showing him that he can do amazing things. So that was a cool moment for me. It's one of those moments that I always feel great about.
Oh yeah.
I think it might have guided them into a different direction of like, we need to start growing more of our own tobacco.
Yeah.
They're growing a little bit, but then they really expanded after that.
Right.
So I don't know, maybe it was a little bit of a guiding light, but felt great to be part of it.
Oh, I love that. Brandon wants to know, what's the story behind George's 70th cigar?
Well, it's a cross between like an SW and a J21-ish. Because if you look at J21 out of Miami and SW out of Miami, they're actually two different blends. Because when we were doing the SW as the Reserva in Miami, I was looking for a particular style. And then when I said, okay, make the same cigar in a Robusto, I didn't like it. Like I didn't love it. Like I thought it was missing something. So fast forward, we decided to reblend J21 to have it be its own thing. So J21 kind of stood on its own for a long time. And then, of course, the K222 came along, which was like an enhanced version of the J21. So that 70th is kind of a mix between J21 and SW.
Okay.
But the biggest story about that is it's in a kind of a Rothschild format, a 4 3/4 by 49. In the 70s, Rothschilds were really popular, especially because of this guy named Frank Yaneza. And Frank Yaneza, who owned Punch and Hoyle back in those days, was always, someone that I looked up to. And that was a moment that in that courtyard, I got called over by Gustavo from Oliva Tobacco, and he says, "Hey," they lived in the same complex, and he says, "Hey, the old man's here, and he wants to have a cigar with you." I go,
Oh my gosh.
Who's the old man? Like, who?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "Frank." I go, "Frank who?" He goes, "Yaneza." I go, and I looked at him. I go, "Why the fuck would he want to have a cigar with me?" Like that was another one of those moments of like, why the fuck does this guy want to have a cigar with me? I think there's always been those moments of like, like John Oliva Sr. is like, he told me that he really enjoys, he enjoyed the Guapo series from Cabai One. I was like, damn, like that's fucking cool. So there's always those moments of like someone saying, "Hey, I smoked this, and you did a good job."
Yeah.
And that's, I think, so when the same vibe for me when Elton John calls James Hetfield and says that's one of the best songs ever written. When you got a guy like Frankie Yaneza or Pepin Garcia giving you a compliment, you fucking your balls grow for sure.
Yeah. Well, and that kind of brings me to one of the questions I had written down about legacy. And legacy is a word that's used in basically every walk of life. The word legacy is thrown around. Yeah. And honestly, it's different things to different people. There's family legacies, there's corporate legacies, there's artistic legacies, so on and so forth, everywhere in between. And there are a lot of people in the cigar business that truly have, I should actually, I'm going to change. There are, in my mind, a select few people in the cigar business that have legacy. Mm-hmm. Frank Yaneza is one of them.
Julio
Roa, Don Carlos Fuente.
No, absolutely.
Jose, Jose Orlando Padron.
Yep.
Pepin, I put in that category 100%. Benjamin Hernandez, and so my question is for you, when you think about the people who've built a legacy, what does legacy mean to you, and what would you hope, however many years down the road it is, what would you hope that your legacy would be one day to other people coming up in the cigar industry?
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. I think more than everything, like I didn't start this boutique trend. It was already being done. There were a lot of other boutique cigar makers way before me.
Yeah.
I think I'll always be remembered for the month of October.
Yeah.
I think people will say that, like, Tonto White really started, bringing these concepts around the Halloween season. And I'm hoping that people, I think more than anything, I'm hoping people at least give me that, a little bit of respect of like, okay, there wasn't a lot of things like that before it came up. So I don't know. Legacy, I don't have like an end game in this industry. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I don't have a legacy experience in the sense of like, who am I going to pass it down to? I'm hoping one day I find that person and they're willing to take the concepts and move forward with it.
Yeah.
But I think in the end, if I'm not making cigars anymore and and I'm just kind of like off in the distance. I hope people, remember the brand.
Yeah.
Will it be around for 100 years? I don't think so, but maybe the Monster series. But
Yeah.
I think
you never know.
I don't know, man. It's a tough question for me because I think if you have the mentality that I have with the cigar industry, and there are a group of people like me that are true nerds of the industry, we'll study the history and we'll recognize that there was a brand called Opus X that started a trend, and we'll look at the Monster series and go, wow, that started a trend. And we'll look at Drew Estates, and they started with a trend with what they were doing, especially with the acid culture. I think more than anything, I hope people just remember maybe one part of it.
Yeah.
Not every cigar is going to hit everybody's mark, but I'm hoping people remember, like, there was a guy that used to make this Monster series that was so anticipated every year that people just waited for it and searched for it every time it came out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm hoping people remember that, because I still remember, searching for certain cigars when I was younger.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We all remember those when we first, and I know for you it was like, late 80s, early 90s that you started to just really immerse yourself in
Mostly early 90s,
tobacco culture. Yeah.
I smoked a lot of late 70s and late 80s cigars.
Yeah. But early 90s for you was when the bug bit, and you wanted to learn about not just the leaves, but you wanted to learn about the people. You want to learn about their stories and their history and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm hoping that I don't leave this industry where someone says, "Man, he was a fucking asshole."
I think there's little risk of that.
I mean, dude, when I was younger in the industry, I probably had my moments of like, "Who the fuck is this kid?" But the older I get, I'm hoping that I can guide people.
Yeah,
and at least give them concepts. So that's why you look at a guy like George Brightman, who might be one of the encyclopedias of the industry, and I still give him props, for a lot of shit, because. And George is cocky. And if he's listening, he knows he's cocky.
Yeah.
And he fucking deserves it. He's awesome. I'm hoping that people are willing to sit down with me. Like when you get that moment to sit down with a guy like Benjamin Menendez, or you get a moment to sit down with a guy like Pepin and ask him a couple questions, even through translation. Yeah. Embrace those moments. And hopefully you walk out of that conversation being better at what you do. And, we talk about this all the time. You never meet your heroes, but I look at some of my musical heroes, and like, I'm hoping that I kind of go out like they did, or, have that respect like they do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think everybody wants to be liked a little bit,
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course. Allison's got a great question. I don't think we've ever asked you a cigar that you've always, just one of those quote unquote unicorn cigars that, and I know because you started collecting a long time ago. So is there anything you've never had a chance to try?
I've had pretty much. I mean, I've had Davidoff Cuban cigars. I've had Dunhill Cuban cigars, Don Candido cigars. I've had a lot. So it's kind of hard to like. I mean, shit, man. The other day I was with Carlito at George's 70th birthday, and I got a pussy juice from him, which I had before, but. Like I hadn't had one in a long time.
Yeah.
So I should say PJ instead. which is weird because it's my initials. But yeah, dude, I think I've had pretty much everything, and I've been given everything. I think I take cigars in the moment.
Yeah.
I was in London and someone gave me and I think it was a H. Upman Noea from like the 60s, which was fabulous.
Wow.
And there was a reason why I used the word Noea, because I used to have an H. Upman Noea jar. The cigars are gone, but then now my dog's ashes are in that jar.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I think I don't know. Maybe I've had most of the Davidoff stuff. You know, the number ones, the Dom Perignon. Even though I have a Dom Perignon, I won't smoke because I'm sure it's gonna taste like shit. Because it probably tastes like the box it's been stored in.
Yeah.
I've had a few of like the Margot and the Lafite. I don't think I've had a Latour.
Okay.
I know I haven't had the Chem. So, you know, maybe a couple of those old Davidoff cigars. Yeah, I have a few friends that have that shit, so I can say, hey, dude, I haven't had that one yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've smoked a lot of great shit, so it's hard for me to say like what do I need to search for.
Yeah, exactly.
I take every cigar in the moment.
Right.
And I'm blessed that I've been able to smoke a lot of great things. That's it.
Yeah. Well, and this one, I think we've talked to you about this before, but it's always worth kind of bringing up, and it's a question from a viewer. Other than don't do it, what advice would you give to someone that told you they were going to start their own cigar brand?
Make it for yourself.
Okay.
Don't make it thinking that you're going to sell any of them. If you go into it with the wrong reason, which is I think I can sell these, to me that's the wrong reason. Make it like this is my philosophy. We make it for ourselves. If no one wants them, no one likes them, we're going to love them because we put them together with what we truly loved. And we're going to be stuck smoking them all.
Yeah.
So don't make it for other people. Make it for yourself. Believe in yourself. There's truth in marketing with that. When you believe in your own product, eventually people will show up and understand what you went for. But don't go into it like, don't think of cigars as a widget or a cog. Like I don't want to sell cigars just to sell cigars. I want to sell cigars that actually have meaning behind them, and the biggest meaning is that I loved them. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, Allison, another great question. What's an up and coming cigar company that is impressive to you?
Well, dude, I love Ian from Dapper.
Yeah.
I think he's a great dude. I think he's making good shit. He works with Oliva Tobacco, if I remember correctly.
I think so, yeah.
He's got the right mindset. He makes cigars for himself.
Yeah.
And I've had some very enjoyable experiences with his cigars, and some great conversations with Ian. And he's part of the industry. Like he's not trying to be like he knows everything else that no one else knows.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some cigars that I stay clearly away from because they're always tied to an asshole. But yeah, guys like Ian, I appreciate his style, and I appreciate that he loves what he's doing. I'm blanking on his name. Why am I blanking on his name? He's doing it for himself. He's doing it for his dad as a tribute to his dad, but Lure. Luro Cigar.
Lou Cross. Yeah, we just had him on the show a few weeks ago. Great dude.
I haven't smoked any loose cigars, but I like what he's doing. He's very clever with the branding. And it everything has a personal meaning.
Yeah.
Like, I think that more than anything, that means a lot to people.
Yep.
Personal meaning. And there's a story, there's you have something to talk about.
Yeah.
But it's true. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. It's a real connection. There's stories beyond the cigar, and
I'm gonna itch my back again.
Hey, there you go. Do it like the bear in Jungle Book.
Yeah.
But yeah, if there's connections, and you've had this in your career and some of your cigars, that there's a connection beyond just the cigars. There's a real connection, whether it's a milestone or a family pet or a family friend or something like that, and there's meaning that goes beyond just sure. There's good tobacco in the cigars. It was blended with care, but there's something that goes beyond just that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's a lot of things that brand owners a lot of times can't control. I mean, we have our concepts, we have our blend ideas, we have our palettes, but we still have to make sure that the people sewing it up actually are doing a good job with it.
Yeah.
Some things that are just out of our control because we don't own the factory and we can't nitpick every cigar that rolls through production. We don't see it, especially you're making 125,000 cigar run. You can't see every cigar.
Right.
It's just impossible. And neither can the factory that's putting them together. They can't see the underlying problem that might be happening with a cigar.
Even the line managers, there's never going to be any run of any cigar ever that doesn't have. There's going to be one or two that's just sneak through that there's something wrong with.
Thing as perfection.
Yeah, it's just and even the best line managers, the best buncheros, the best roleros, the best go all the way down the line, and but that's one of the things that's actually kind of
real.
It's real. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. It's real. They're handmade products. They're handmade. All the pre-production. People are doing.
Everybody in that chain, that long chain,
is a human being.
Exactly, and with flaws.
Yeah, and that comes with the territory.
Dude, there's been moments where I'm like, oh my God, every cigar that I've pulled out of these bundles are smoking brilliantly, and I'll still get an email from someone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck. Like, I thought what I was smoking was fucking perfect. Am I fucking wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, I just, you can't look for perfection. If you look for perfection, you're probably gonna shoot yourself, because it's impossible to achieve, especially with this hand. Dude, I'll go with something as stupid as a fucking piece of clothing.
Yeah,
a lot of times go through like laser machines to cut the materials.
Yeah,
and you'll open up a pack of T-shirts and they'll all fit differently.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah. There's I can't think of anything perfect.
No,
anywhere. Anywhere, really.
You're probably going to get a fairly good perfection rate if you go for a single barrel of whiskey, because the 200 plus bottles or whatever it might be, or 100 and something plus bottles that you're going to get out of that barrel are going to be all identical, but maybe they're not perfect to everybody else. Maybe they're perfect to you.
And that's, again, you've talked about it before. That's where the whole subjective thing comes in. Everybody's got their own palates. Everybody's got their own flavors. Everybody's got their own likes and dislikes. It's just, it's a mixture of, it's a mixture of preparation and hard work and a shitload of luck and then
shitload of luck is right.
And then everybody else's opinions. And somewhere in the midst of all that, you find something that resembles quote unquote success.
I had a email from a consumer the other day that we had a good conversation. I will say that a lot of times when I have these conversations with people, I act like I'm just an employee of Tatawai. I don't sign the emails under me.
Yeah.
Because I want to have a real conversation and understand without kind of like guiding them in the wrong direction. I don't want them to be intimidated by talking to me. I want them to really appreciate that we actually reach out back to them, right?
Yeah.
And he said, I had a cigar that was too loose, too open. And I responded with like, one person's loose draw is actually the perfect draw for another person.
Yeah.
I said, but when we get something that's too tight, then that's just a fucking pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to avoid. I know that I can smoke a loose cigar or an open draw and smoke it the way you need to smoke it to kind of appreciate it.
Right.
But when you get a cigar that's over bunched, that's just, you get angry with it. and I don't want that to happen, but that's, I think the one thing that Garcia finally implemented in a small capacity were some draw testers in the factory.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, I think kind of like a stepping stone that they didn't, it was like a pivot that they didn't want to do, because like, this is how we roll cigars. If the bunchers roll the cigars properly, we won't have to use them.
Right.
But they get used when there's always a question mark. Like, okay.
Yeah.
The line managers can't find the problem. The production, the section production managers can't find the problem. And now you're talking about the one side of the gallery production managers can't find the problem. Then it goes to the chief of production. He doesn't see the problem. So, okay, let's go fucking put it through the draw tester.
Right.
To make sure that we're not missing something. But even then, you have no idea the guys that were choosing the tobacco, whether or not they were sorting tobacco, that they really even have any clue what they're sorting.
Yeah.
They don't have any clue what they're sorting. They just know that this is the ratio we're supposed to put.
Yeah.
But they're not testing the tobacco. The testing happens before it goes to them. And you can't test every stitch of tobacco either that goes into every cigar. So I'm like super overly picky, dude. Like there's times where I'm like, okay, there's something in the cigar that's not right. The draw is perfect. Everything's perfect. But there's a stitch of tobacco that's acting wrong within the blend.
Mm-hmm.
How long did that problem exist? Was it a hand?
How many boxes of those cigars went out?
Yeah, and by the way, you don't even know. It could be one cigar per 100 boxes.
Yeah,
because they get graded. Like, I would say that the closest thing to having cigars that are rolled by one guy, sorted by one group of people, the closest you can get is maybe one in every 25 boxes. That's in Miami,
right?
Because it's such a small production that we can control it more. We can see the problems easier.
Yeah.
But even then, you're talking about thousands of cigars that go into the room, rolled at different times, and then graded by color.
Yeah.
Put into a box. So there could be multiple days within that one box. So you don't know.
Well, and they're also not, and I get it's a feel thing, but a lot of consumers out there don't understand, and it took me forever to understand this, that it's not like they're getting out a micrometer and measuring the thickness of every fucking leaf, and you can have a difference of 50 to 100 microns of thickness on the exact same leaves from the exact same corner of the same field. Yeah. And that can change if you've got one filler leaf that's 60 microns thicker and a binder leaf that's 30 microns thicker, which is infinitesimal almost.
Yeah.
But that can contribute to a tighter draw without anybody even having any idea until oh shit, there's something going on we're having a little bit of tightness on these last,
the people grading the cigars they look for colors. At that
yeah.
point, they're looking for color, and they'll feel it.
Yeah.
But they won't feel something that's like maybe there's a twisted bunch that they don't know about.
Right.
You can't see it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hidden mysteries in cigars that you just can't see. Moisture content in cigars. Another.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Combustibility and moisture content. Yeah. Forget about it.
People put cigars in their humidor and they think that they're going to be perfect because their humidor is perfect, but maybe they're not.
Right.
Because my humidors here are not always perfect. I have to throw Boveda 72s in all my humidors at the house because they dry out quick because they're in a highly air-conditioned room. So I get a lot of hard Boveda 72 packs.
Yeah, that you got to replace every 3 months. If you're lucky, if not 1 month.
Yeah. But you never know, like, okay, what's going to dry out first? It's always going to be the wrapper, right? And then the binder. And the filler could still have a lot of moisture.
Yeah.
Or
especially if you've got a thicker, more robust, leaf in the filler, even a half leaf in the filler. If it's a thicker, more robust, type of priming or something like that, forget about it. You have no idea how quickly or slowly that's going to gain or lose moisture from the environment around it.
Yeah, there's so many variables, dude. Like that's why you'll never reach perfection. So don't.
Yeah.
This goes back to the question. Make it for yourself. Don't look for perfection.
Don't look. Yeah.
Because you'll never get it.
And even for those of us at home, all of us, cigar lovers out there, us cigar nerds out there, when it comes to storing our cigars, I mean, don't get me wrong, store your cigars as well as you can. Yeah. But don't lose sleep over, 0.07% RH. Don't just breathe and enjoy your cigars, enjoy your life, and don't sit there looking at an app on your phone 24 hours a day to see if the RH rose by 0.6% or whatever.
I always tell people, like, if they like, listen, man, my cigars, they're not burning correctly, or they're tunneling. I'm like, well, it's possible that you might have a higher humidity on the wrapper and the binder, which are not burning as fast as the filler. And that could cause tunneling, but also there could be an issue where the buncher just didn't fill the gaps all the way.
Yeah.
Or you could have one particular leaf that was drier in the bunch, or you could have one particular center vein that decides to light up like a fucking fuse that you don't know about. I always say, like, if you get to a tunneling part, put the cigar down.
Yep.
Let it go out.
Walk away,
come back to it 5, 10, 15 minutes later. And a lot of times the moisture component like kind of regulates throughout that wrapper, binder, and filler.
Yeah.
And then purge it and relight it. And usually that will correct it.
Yeah.
That's an easy fix. You just have to be patient sometimes. Listen, if the cigar is like fucking plugged, try biting down on the bunch. Put it in your teeth, bite down on it, turn it, bite down on it, crack the bunch a little bit to see if that opens up the draw. Yeah. If you're not getting anything from there, that means the buncher just had a fucking bad day.
Right.
And walk away from it because you're not going to enjoy it. Like I've been very lucky over the years. I've smoked some really shitty Cuban cigars that were like plugged it. That's, oh, you're going to love this cigar. I'm like, no, I can't even fucking draw through.
Especially in the last 10 years. Yeah.
I always tell this story. Like I was in Dusseldorf, Germany, doing an event, and Behikes were kind of like in their realm of newish at the time. And I really wanted to smoke a Behike. And the retailer says, don't smoke that. smoke this instead. And he gave me a Romeo Duke. And it was the fucking worst overpacked plug cigar I ever smoked. And the whole time it was like, all I wanted to do was I wanted to buy the 32 euro fucking Behike.
Yeah.
I wanted to try it. I was willing to pay for it, but he gave me a cigar that was less expensive and shit. And maybe there were a few in that box that were really good, but the one I got was not.
And now this, oh shit. And now that Behike that would have cost that back then was 32 euros now is like what, 800 euros?
Well, the Behike 52 was 32, I think.
Yeah.
It might have been less actually for the Behike 52 at the time. It was less. But now that Behike 52 might be 300 pound. So
yeah, it's
250 euro.
It's off the charts. It's off the charts.
Yeah. And you better have a fucking good cigar at that point.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's why a lot of, especially, consumers in the States, I think we've been seeing fewer imports from, some companies that shall remain unnamed, in some retailers in Switzerland who used to ship a lot of product to, Cuban cigars to the States. It's been slowing down a lot because, although it took a while, a few years for people to sort of wake up to the fact that, quality control was just really, really lacking from some Cuban manufacturers. And it's sad, but it just is what it is. And they get a lot more quality cigars from places in Nicaragua and Dominican Republic.
I haven't talked to some people. I've talked to a few people, but not a lot of people in Europe and the UK, especially. Like, I remember there was a factory in Nicaragua. They were using prisoners to roll their cigars.
Yeah.
There was a small factory that happened to be using prison labor to roll the cigars. When you start thinking about the price points of a Cuban cigar and this famous Cuban cigars, and then you find out now that, well, it's always been done, by the way. It just finally came out that Cuba's using prison labor to roll cigars. I'm always curious to get the feedback from the guys that are such staunch, Cuban snobs,
Cuban apologists. Yeah.
Like I really want to know their opinion on that because I've always said this. They're not the best cigars in the world anymore. They used to be.
Right. They used to be.
There's so many other great cigars out there. And I want people to take a cigar for just being a cigar and not because of the label or where it came from.
Yeah.
Listen, smoke the fucking cigar. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, don't go back to it.
Exactly.
But don't say that this country is making better cigars than any other country.
Yeah.
Because that's not always the case.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get a good one. Sometimes you get a fucking horrible one. And that goes for every country.
Yeah. All right. So I think it is definitely time for this week's Numero de los Muertos.
I love the fact that you're doing this by yourself.
I know, exactly. I don't love it as much as you do, but I'm getting through it. All right, so Numero de los Muertos. This one, I got to give a shout out. This comes from, because every once in a while I get Facebook messages or text messages from viewers. This comes from one of our loyal viewers, Colin McClure. So I want to say shout out and thank you to Colin. So the number for this week's Numero de los Muertos is 1. And this is one of those strange one-off, so basically it's, we're just going to kind of figure our way through it, together, Pete, along with our viewers in the comments. But there was one person who died from the most, and when Colin sent it to me, I was like, you've got to be shitting me. This is one of the most one-off, out of left field, weirdest causes of death I've ever even heard of in my life. So it's going to be, tough for everybody to guess it, but it's I mean, it's, don't get me wrong, it's sad, but it's just, oddly comical in a morbid sort of way.
So I'm going to ask a first question. It's not any type of disease.
Not a disease. No.
Okay. Does it have anything to do with any type of sporting equipment?
No sporting equipment. And Allison, it is not from choking on a pickle.
Oh, I was going to say it has nothing like with choking on like a little plastic army dude from when we were kids.
No, not choking.
So nothing to do with kids' toys either.
No kids' toys. Not Andrew says death of someone by a monster. No. Being wrapped a mummy for Halloween. No. It's nothing to do with Halloween or costumes or anything like that.
Jeez.
I know this one's I'm not gonna let this one, dredge on for too long because this one's gonna be tough to guess, but it's really, really unique. And that's why
listening to music at too high of a decibel.
Oh no, that is no. I don't know if anybody's ever been killed by that. I know
I got sick off it one time.
I know I've personally.
I was also drunk though too.
I have permanent hearing loss. You may also, Pete, but I have permanent hearing loss.
I do a lot of this. What'd you say?
Yeah. It's from stage monitors and sound systems in clubs that were just way, 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 way too hot.
Yeah.
Not a
has
tattoo.
Anything to do with a piercing?
Nothing with a piercing. No tattoos. Somebody said edible underwear. Nope, not edible underwear.
Edible underwear, that seems like something you choke on. We've already said no choking involved.
Andrew said death by orgasm. Definitely not that. Office chair piston impalement. Tom says no. Tom, it is not that.
That's morbid, dude.
I think that I don't think you die from that. I think you just pray for death.
Yeah.
After that.
Oh. Shit,
Think of all right. I'm going to give some just really, really big hints that I usually don't give because this is such a unique one.
Think of go on forever.
Think of methods to consume a beverage.
Was this from like taking a bong hit up your ass?
Oh shit, dude! Bourbon almost came out of my nose.
A beer bong hit.
No,
that's been done with John Cena in Cockblockers.
Yeah. Oh shit, I love that one.
Oh, it's such a great scene, dude.
My wife and I just watched that a few weeks ago.
Cena, dude, I love the fact that he came into his own as a comedic actor.
Yeah,
dude. He's so good at it.
Dude is hilarious. Yeah, so it's unique, not necessarily unique, but it's a particular methodology of consuming a beverage.
So would it be from drowning?
Not drowning.
Oh.
It's not from death from straw up the nose. It's not a snorkel death. It's not death by carbonation. It's not, Kelly. No, it is not through the anal cavity. It is not a keg stand.
We already covered that one.
Yeah. Not ODing on communion wine. Although I came close to that when I was
only the priest would.
When I was like 11 years old, I came pretty close to ODing on communion wine myself, but I made it through.
Does it have to do with a particular alcohol?
No, not alcohol. Actually, this was not an alcoholic beverage.
No, it's not the Pop Rocks in a soda thing.
No, it's a particular.
I think that was a like a wives' tale, anyways.
Yeah. So think about the methods that you use to consume a beverage.
Anything with a straw.
Okay, you're on the right track. You're on the right track. And there are different kinds of straws.
Like a corkscrew straw, a sippy straw.
No.
A boba straw? Choked on a boba. No.
Not a boba straw.
We already eliminated choking. So
I still, to this day, at 54 years old, I've never tried boba.
I don't recall actually myself trying a boba. I can't remember. If I did, I was really not really alive or awake when I was doing it. So.
Yeah. Allison, it was not coffee that was too hot through a straw. It was not a glass straw. Not snorting a soda. Okay, we have a winner. We have a correct guess.
Metal straw.
It was a metal straw. So get this.
Impalement?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And this retired jockey, Elena Struthers Gardner, age 60, was carrying a beverage with a screw top lid containing a metal straw in her home in England when she fell down, causing the 10-inch stainless steel straw to pierce her left eye and her brain.
God.
So the stainless steel
that's
straw
not going to make me sleep good tonight.
Went through her left eye into her brain and caused her to be no more.
Dude, that's fucking horrible.
Right? I mean,
that's not cool.
So, I mean, that's just, it's like.
I was going to drinking in the shower, slipping on some soap.
Yeah. It's got to be.
Impaling yourself.
The odds have to be in the trillions for something like that. You know, it's got to be in the trillions, because I remember I was just a baby when this happened, because my oldest brother is 4 years older than I am. And when he was probably, I don't know, 6 years old ish, somewhere in that age, 7 years old, I was 2 or 3 at the time. My dad was a pipe smoker, and my brother got his hands on one of the pipes, because my dad had the classic round pipe rack with the canister in the middle, you know, and my brother got his hands on one of the pipes, and it was it wasn't a curved stem. It was just a straight stem pipe. And he was running around the house with the pipe, you know, clenched between his teeth. He's running around the house, and he fell down, landed on his face, and the pipe jammed into the back of his mouth and kind of got into his cheek. And, you know, he had to go to the hospital and get some repairs done. And he was fine. But yeah, just if you're walking around with anything sharp or pointy, just think twice. You know, maybe check your path to make sure there's no obstructions.
I want to know what this lady was. She wearing a pair of slippers and she slipped, you know, or stubbed her toe and then fell, or.
So it says, she died 2 days later at a local hospital from the traumatic brain injury. It's unknown why she fell. She had suffered mobility issues years prior in a riding accident when she was 21. The accident occurred November 2018. The coroner's office. It was the medical staff had never seen an injury like that. I mean, obviously.
Fucking nuts, dude.
And yeah, it was just like literally like 1 in a trillion chance that it was just one of those one-offs that nobody can possibly, anticipate.
I think it's time for you to play the music again.
I agree. So that was this week's Numero de los Muertos.
Good one. What was it? Colin, right?
That was Colin McClure, one of our fantastic loyal viewers.
That's fucking pretty morbid, Colin, that you went and dug that one out.
He's actually sent me a couple, so I'm going to be using some of his over the next few weeks, because he sent me some good suggestions. because it's 300 episodes, 300 plus episodes. It's tough coming up with new material. So
I would say so.
Viewers sending us stuff. It helps.
Wow.
Okay, all right. The Dodgers beat the Brewers 2-1. This was a pitcher's duel because it was 1-0 LA in the 9th inning, and the game ended at a 2-1 final.
What's the series at right now?
It's that was the first game in that particular series. So it's LA Dodgers 1 and Milwaukee Brewers nothing.
I think as a baseball geek, when I was younger, I always liked the Brewers because I think it was just the logo.
Yeah, I just want the Brewers to get there. I
think it's just an old team, kind of a little nostalgia.
And the fact that Bob Uecker passed away in the last year, I want the Brewers to get to the big dance. And LA, don't get me wrong, LA's got a lot of, history to the franchise and all that stuff. I get all that, but they've been to the big dance so many times before. I want the Brewers to get there, and
I love the underdog anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Brewers do that.
So hopefully they can, but tonight it wasn't their night, but hopefully they can, turn things around. All right, the lightning round brought to us by our friends at J.C. Newman Cigar Company, America's oldest family-owned premium cigar maker, creators of the popular Brick House, Perla Del Mar, Diamond Crown, and The American. J.C. Newman Cigar Company operates out of their 114-year-old El Reloj cigar factory in historic Cigar City, Tampa, Florida. For more information on their cigars or visitor experience, please visit jcnewman.com. All right.
I love Jason Newman, dude.
They're one of my favorite companies.
Love the family. Dude, Drew Newman is one of the best people in the industry.
Yeah.
Everything about the family is great.
They're honestly some of the best people I've ever spent time with. And that goes from the Newmans themselves, the family members, to the people that they brought into their staff. Their marketing people, they're just incredible. So they've done a fantastic job. And I hope that, we've talked about it 1,000 times on this show, but if you are ever in the Tampa area and you have to go to the El Reloj tour.
I actually want to take the tour again. Drew gave me the tour of the factory. But I actually want to go on the tour that they're doing now, which is the haunting tour. Which is like the basement. I mean, you always love a good story. And I'm sure that building holds a lot of them. So.
Well, and I'm so excited too for the project across the street, the hotel that they're working on and all that stuff. So I'm really hoping that turns into something just incredible. I can't wait to see what they do with it, because so far everything from this historic perspective that they've done has been a home run. And I have no doubt that this next one is going to be a home run as well. So one of the, because since you've been on the show so many times, Pete, you've had all the classic lightning round questions, but I don't know about you, but I was always a big fan of this show called Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah.
Because it just cracks me up. And they do this thing from time to time called Questions from a Hat. And sometimes they get these questions that are just absolutely outrageous, and I love it. So I'm going to do my own little spin on one of their questions for you. And that is, what is something you can say about your cigar that you can't say about your spouse?
I'll pass on this question.
That's actually a very safe word.
Gritty.
Yes.
I cannot say my wife is gritty.
100% appropriate.
But I can say that a broadleaf wrapper or a San Andreas wrapper is gritty.
Definitely. That's a good way to go. Okay, so what is something that you could say about the bourbon that you're drinking that you can't say about your spouse?
There's so many words I could say.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like, my wife is intoxicating. My wife is smooth. My wife, I mean, what can I say about the bourbon? Oh my God, nothing.
Allison says, Matt, are you trying to get him killed?
Yeah.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
I can say this: it's not Cuban.
There you go. I love that. I love that. All right. Where was I just saw this on my, here it is. Okay. If you could have someone follow you around all the time, like a personal assistant, what would you have them do throughout your workday? The tasks that you just, it's like, I don't want to bother with that. I want somebody else to take care of that for me.
Wow. I that's a tough one because I think I just want them to shadow me and do exactly what I'm doing. So like, yeah, you want them to kind of cover all bases, but what would I have them do? If I could teach them how to do it, which is fairly simple, I would have them go into the system and reconcile QuickBooks every day instead of me having to do it.
Yes,
because I'm the chief of IT. I'm the fucking I'm the CMO, CFO, COO, CEO,
jack of all trades. Yeah,
CTO. Dude, I built the fucking servers for our office, dude. Like,
oh yeah.
I
can relate, brother.
I always lead by example, and like when we hung out with the guys that were helping us pack all the Saints and Sinners kits, and someone said, "How long?" Like someone said, my brother actually said, "Why are you still there?" And we joked about it because he knew my answer was going to be, I lead by example. I want people that I'm working with to understand that I do everything that they do too. Yeah. And it's not like I'm above any job in the room.
100%.
So
amen, brother.
I want them to feel good about coming in and working with us because they realize that I do the same shit they do.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. All right. So,
by the way, this lighter cigar, the lighter wrapper one.
Yeah.
It's been several weeks since I've had one, and I'm telling you that I'm digging it.
The lighter color is the winner.
I think where it's sitting right now, I actually like it better.
Okay.
I think the other one might be more age worthy.
Okay. Yeah.
But
yeah.
Out the gate, this is actually performing really well. So
okay.
Yeah.
So not related. I mean, obviously you've got the Monster series and, you know, Halloween and all that stuff, you know, with the cigars, but outside of cigars, do you have a favorite Halloween memory?
Yeah. I used to sit on our porch in Maine and dress as I guess a scarecrow in a sense.
Okay.
I would, you know how everybody knows this in the sense of like you'd like take old clothes and you pack it full of leaves.
Yeah.
And I have it sit on your porch as like, oh, that's just like a prop, right? But I used to love shoving like leaves down my pants and into my flannel shirt, and I would sit on the porch as like I was that prop.
And scaring the shit out of people when they walk by.
There's nothing like scaring people, dude. I fucking love it. I don't get startled that often anymore, but I love making people jump. Like,
I love that. All right, so we don't need a reveal of the spirit of mystery because there is no Spirit of Mystery this week because I was just drinking one of my go-tos, Eagle Rare.
Why is it that Postani has never been on your list?
Because it's here's the funny thing is we started doing that ad.
I like those guys, but I'm doing an event with him coming up in November, and I was
nice.
And I texted him. I said, I'm gonna sit down with you and have a conversation about Sumatra because they seem to have this like problem with Sumatra, and I want to find out what the fuck their problem is with Sumatra.
Yeah.
They think it's a cheap. They actually, from what I can gather, they think it's a cheap leaf. It's not. Indonesian Sumatra or Indonesian people automatically correlate Indonesian and Sumatra together, but Indonesian binder that a lot of people use as one single binder is pretty bland and mute and very inexpensive.
But it burns well.
Yeah, but when you talk about a good Sumatra Ecuador wrapper, it's just as expensive as any other wrapper from Ecuador.
Oh yeah.
So I want to find out what Mike's deal is with that shit.
Nice. I like that. All right. So notable smokables. We've talked about this a bunch of times in the past. We name a cigar we smoked recently that was notable to us. Now, this could be a cigar that's been, just released on the market, brand new, that we've never tried before, or it could be a cigar that's been on the market for decades that we tried for the first time in a very long time. So is there anything you smoked recently, from another company's portfolio that kind of stood out to you a little bit?
Yeah, I don't get to smoke a lot outside the portfolio, but I do smoke a lot of prototypes that the Garcias are playing with for themselves.
Oh yeah, nice.
And Jaime gave me a cigar that I was absolutely like, okay, this is a fucking cigar. I can't tell you what it is right now because it's not out yet.
Yeah.
But it checked all the boxes for me. Like, and I thought he did great for kind of embracing the brand that it's following.
Okay.
But at the same time giving it like a spark, which was kind of cool. So I love smoking cigars with my brother-in-law because he knows what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah. That always helps. So I had
or the PJ that I smoked the other day that was
there you go.
Whoa. that did I hadn't smoked one in years, and I was like, I sat there the whole time. I'm like, this is fucking strong. Like,
yeah.
How do you get this much? I mean, I know how do you get that much strength in a small cigar, but it was on a different level of strength.
Yeah.
And that was the last cigar I smoked the whole night. I'm done. I
you had to tap out after that one. I just smoked. I went on a run for a couple of years where I smoked this cigar kind of sort of regularly. Like I'd have like one of them per week for a while. And then I hadn't had one in a long time. And I just had one over the weekend again for the first time in probably, God, I want to say like 8 months or more. And that's the Crook of the Crown from Stolen Throne.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And Lee Marsh. And it's just it was just kind of one of those moments where I was like, oh yeah, I remember why I like this cigar. Yeah, it's a good one.
So there's another brand that someone in the previous question a long time ago, what other small brands are out there that I like what Lee's doing. I did have one cigar he gave me that I didn't like. I'll tell him another day what it was. But I think he's doing what he wants to do. It goes back to that.
Yeah, he's doing it his way.
Yeah.
All right, so coming attractions, everybody out there in How About That Cigar Land. Next Monday night, October 20th, we have Brandon and Kendrick from Apostate Cigars coming back onto the show for How About That Cigar Live. And then closing out the month of October, we just talked about them a minute ago. We have Mike and Mike from Postania cigars coming back onto How About That Cigar Live. So Pete, if you would please give our viewers and listeners an idea, where is the best place for them to keep up with everything going on with Tatuaje and Surrogates and L'Atelier and everything in between?
The easy place, obviously, is at Tatuaje Cigars on any social media platform. At Tatuaje Inc., which is INC, which is my page, which I rarely post on, but I do when it's important. But honestly, we share our information with all the media people at the same time.
Yeah.
So follow Cigar Media, because you'll find a lot of stuff that we're talking about new releases through any Cigar Media, because every Cigar Media gets it at the same time. It's whether or not who gets it out first is that makes the biggest noise, but
yeah,
everybody has it all at the same time.
Yeah. And I'll definitely give a shout out to people out there from Half Wheel, Cigar Dojo, Cigar Coop. Those guys do an absolutely incredible job with getting information out there to the masses. So definitely pay attention to them as well.
I love Dojo, and I'm on their show every once in a great while. But it was funny. Eric hit me up, right? Eric,
yeah,
hit me up recently, and he goes, "Hey, can you do our show on this date?" And I told him, no, I'm going to be at the TA. And the more I thought about it, I realized that he probably reached out to everybody and forgot that I was going to be at the TA too.
Yeah. Yeah, those if it's TAA dates or something like that,
Eric,
it's like,
come on, man. You know I was your last choice. Maybe
not last. It's tough to say where you land in the hierarchy. We never know.
Dude, I love those guys. They're a lot of fun, and it's always good to do shows with them too. But I was like thinking to myself, he knows that we're all at the same place. I wonder how many people he got no from before he went to me.
Well, Pete, thank you, brother, so much for hanging out with us on How About That Cigar Live again tonight, and we really appreciate it. Hang out in the green room after we go off the air, and we'll talk off the air afterwards. All right, brother?
Beautiful, man. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right, viewers and listeners, guys, thank you so much for being the best part of How About That Cigar Live. So grateful for you guys joining us live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and live on Rumble. And if you're listening after the fact on the audio podcast, whether you're driving down the road, working out, whatever it is you do when you listen to your favorite audio podcasts, thanks so much for making us a part of it. If you have questions for any of us here at How About That Cigar, you can email us directly at the website. Go to howaboutthatcigar.com. Be sure to follow us on all of your favorite social media platforms. You will find us at HBT Cigar. And of course, until we see you guys next time, as always, burn cigars, not bridges. Thanks, guys.
Any comments, opinions, viewpoints, or statements presented or uttered by guests on the HBTC podcast, HBTC live video streams, and all other media from HBT Media LLC are solely those of the individual and do not necessarily represent the opinions or viewpoints of How About That Cigar or its parent company, HBT Media LLC, any of our advertising partners, or the premium cigar industry. The primary purpose of How About That Cigar is to entertain and to encourage activity and growth within the community of people who enjoy or want to learn about the enjoyment of premium cigars.